the ark. The great flood.
What was flood?
How could a flood destroy every living thing?
Was there really a Noah's Ark and flood?
You've heard of the flood, maybe in Sunday school, a movie, or a documentary that says it never happened. This isn't just about rain. It's a moment where God rewrote the earth and changed the story of humanity. A world covered in water, every mountain drowned, every life reset. Give me 5 minutes and I'll show you what the flood really was, where it comes from, and what it means.
You've described the flood as being like an apocalypse on earth. What do you mean by that?
It's to do with destruction and devastation.
To truly understand the flood, we have to start from the very beginning, where it comes from. The story of the flood comes from the Bible. You've probably heard of the Bible or seen it or read it. It comes from the Bible, and in the Bible, the story starts from the beginning, creation, where God's perfect plan was set into place. In the Bible, in Genesis, God created everything in 6 days, perfect, balanced, and very good. Humanity was made in His image to live forever in harmony with God. In Genesis 1:31, God saw all that He had made, and it was very good. God's plan was life, love, and joy for both humanity and for the relationship between Him and us forever. He gave humans freedom, the ability to choose obedience or rebellion. And that's where sin entered the world. But the freedom was tested with the first humans, and they chose the wrong choice. If you know of the story, Adam and Eve disobeyed God in Eden, and sin entered the world. Death, suffering, and corruption followed. Humans turned from God and sought violence. Violence spread across the earth. Even animals were affected. In Genesis 6:5, every human heart was only evil at the time. You see, humans' own thoughts were evil, to the point where God Himself regretted creating mankind. You see, the only time that God ever, in the Bible, ever regret creating mankind was then, Genesis, before the flood. The earth was wrong, the earth was broken, evil, corruption filled everywhere. And the world before the flood was full of crime and wickedness. Man gloried in their rebellion against God. God grieved over His creation, but His plan of redemption continued. You see, this rebellion set a stage for the flood, God's way of cleansing the world from sin. In Genesis, God found one righteous man, Noah, and gave him a mission to build an ark. The ark symbolized salvation, a way to serve God's judgment. Noah was a preacher of righteousness, warning the people from the judgment to come, and in his obedience, he was saved from the wrath that fell upon the earth. Noah obeyed completely. Genesis 6:22, Noah did everything just as God commanded him. The flood was a judgment on sin, but mercy existed for those who obeyed. God preserved Noah, his family, and the animals a fresh start for creation. The world was so corrupt that God Himself wanted to cleanse it all, restart all over. The flood was the result of sin, and it showed the wrath of God against the sinner, but also His mercy of providing a way to escape. After the waters rescended, God made a promise of mercy and salvation. When Noah stepped out and saw a changed world, clean, quiet, new, God promised never again would the earth be destroyed by a flood. In Genesis 9:11-13, He says, I have set my rainbow in the clouds as a sign of my covenant. The rainbow was placed in the cloud as a token of God's covenant, a pledge that the earth would never again be destroyed by a flood. The rainbow represents God's love, mercy, and desire to restore humanity. The flood foreshadowed God's ultimate plan of salvation through Jesus. Even in judgment, God's goal remained redemption, cleansing sin, and offering a new beginning. And that promise points forward to the great ark of all, Jesus. You see, just like Noah's ark provided a safe refuge from the flood, Jesus comes as our refuge from sin and death. In John 3:16, for God so loved the world, He gave His only Son, The flood showed God's justice and mercy. Jesus showed his love fully, and he took the punishment of sin on the cross so we would be forgiven. Through his death and resurrection, God offers every person a fresh start, a way to be restored to him, just as he restored the world through Noah. This isn't just history, it's personal. God's love reaches out to you today, offering salvation, hope, and a restored relationship with him. Even in the midst of judgment, God's mercy was revealed. He had prepared a way for humanity to be saved. The flood wasn't just a story of water, it was the beginning of God's plan for salvation, a plan that reaches all the way to the cross and to each of our lives. The flood was God's cleansing of the world of sin and showing mercy. To receive his love, justice, and plan to restore humanity, God offers a new beginning for everyone. To trust him, just as he offered a fresh start to Noah. The story points out to Jesus, the ultimate ark of salvation, and asking us to repent and to return to him. Because you see, God promised never to use the flood to destroy the world, but in the Bible it says he will destroy the world with fire. Just like the flood was made to cleanse the world and change it and have a new beginning, God promises this on his second coming. And when he comes again, he will judge the righteous and at the end cleanse the entire world from sin. So that's the flood, why it happened, and what it shows and how it shows God's heart for us. I created another video of the flood, where this one, it talks about the dinosaurs and why science mislead us. This one's a full video. You can go check it out in the description. And that was of what the flood really was. See you guys next time.